District of Taber will be speaking momentarily. A question and answer session will follow. For any media online who would like to ask a question, please post in the chat section and include your name, the media outlet you represent, and to whom your question is directed. We will unmute your mic so you can ask your question in the order they are received. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Honourable Catherine McKenna to deliver remarks on behalf of the Government of Canada.
Thanks very much, Carly, and thank you very much, Merrill Harris, the Reeve of the Municipal District of Taber, for being here. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm joining with you on the unceded traditional territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe peoples. And I understand that the project we're announcing today will be built on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nation, the Métis Nation, as well as all Indigenous peoples who make their home in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. Well, we all know across the country, COVID-19 has impacted people's way of life and local economies as never before. I know it's quite a challenging situation right now in Alberta, and the Government of Canada certainly stands with the people of Alberta. We've been working really hard to support Canadians, to support individuals, but also support businesses. And I see my role also is making sure that we create jobs while building stronger, cleaner, more inclusive communities. In August, I announced that the Government of Canada was adapting our infrastructure program to speed up approvals, open up more kinds of projects for funding, and offer a bigger federal cost share. So we now have the new COVID-19 resilience stream that has up to $3.3 billion in federal funding, which includes investments in Alberta. And we know that times are tough. That's why the federal government is providing 80 cents on every dollar in this new program. We also announced the new Canada Healthy Communities Initiative to help fund smaller local projects that can have a big impact on mitigating the impacts of the pandemic. That can mean more welcoming outdoor spaces, Wi-Fi hubs, better apps for local municipal services, lanes, by pop-up bike lanes or more active transportation like footpaths. We all know we need to move forward, to build up, and to do it in a way that makes our communities more livable, more resilient, and more sustainable places to live, work, and raise our families. Sorry, now the sun has come out in Ottawa, so I guess that's a good thing. I know that also Taber, the Municipal District of Taber underwent catastrophic flooding in 2018. I was just reading articles that talked about the very real impact of the flooding on members of your community, flooding of homes, but also of prime agricultural land that put people, but also your community at risk. And that's why I am so pleased today to announce our federal investment in Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Horsefly Regional Emergency Spillway. That we know that we are seeing the extreme weather, which is increasing the risks of disaster. We also know that climate change is having an impact in making the impacts even worse. This important project in the Municipal District of Taber will help make over 60,000 people across the region more resilient to flooding, and that is through an investment of more than $9.8 million through our Disaster Mitigation and Adaptation Fund, which will help protect residents, their properties, and crops from flooding. Je suis ravie d'annoncer aujourd'hui un investissement fédéral de 9,8 millions de dollars dans les phases 2 et 3 du projet de déversoir d'urgence régional Horsefly. Nous savons qu'en 2018, il y avait des inondations catastrophiques dans la région et c'est sûr, avec les changements climatiques, on va en y voir plus. Alors, c'est important que ce projet mettra en œuvre, ce projet pourrait soutenir plus de 60 000 citoyens et citoyennes face au risque d'inondation. These phases of the project will expand existing irrigation canals to divert 55 cubic meters per second of stormwater from the St. Mary River Irrigation District main canal to the Oldman River during snowmelts and heavy rainfalls. Wetlands will also be added to reduce pollutants entering the Oldman River. And this project is expected to create more than 100 jobs during construction, which, as we know at this period in time, we desperately need jobs. And once complete, these improvements will significantly reduce the impact of flooding and keep local waterways clean. All too often now, our communities are seeing the worst impacts of severe weather, including caused by climate change. Disaster mitigation projects like this one have a real and positive impact on communities by helping to ensure that everyone is better protected, creating good jobs, while also reducing the costs of recovery. One project at a time, Canada is making the transition to a more resilient, low carbon and inclusive economy. And that's the commitment out of the heart of this program, and one that gets me out of bed every day. And I'll just end by saying, while I do wish I was there in person, I think that I now have recognized that how my title, which is Minister of Infrastructure and Communities, how important communities are. That communities have really come together in the pandemic, and it's really about counting on each other, looking out for each other, and recognizing that communities are really what we decide to make of them. And infrastructure investments are a critical part of that, whether it's investing in flood and fire protection, clean drinking water, better transportation, more efficient buildings, renewable energy, better access to broadband. This all helps to create good jobs in the short term, stabilizing and growing the economy in the longer term, helping communities get back on their feet, but also ensuring that we move to a cleaner, more resilient, and more inclusive future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister McKenna. I'd now like to invite Reeve Harris to say a few words.
Okay, thank you, Carly, and thank you, Minister McKenna. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of myself, Mr. Gary Franz, who is the co-chair of the Southern Regional Stormwater Drainage Committee, the councillors of the Municipal District of Taber, along with our Southern Regional Drainage Committee partners, we are thrilled and delighted to receive the Disaster Mitigation and Adaptation Fund contribution of $9.8 million for Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Horsefly Emergency Spillway project. We appreciate your continued support and assistance and look forward to partnering with Infrastructure Canada as we work together in the years ahead, building a stronger future for Southern Albertans. In the last 10 years, our region has been hit with 5 of what could be called 1-in-100-year flood events, resulting in millions of dollars of widespread property, farmland, and infrastructure damage, while forcing some people to be evacuated from their homes, causing emotional devastation for several residents across Southern Alberta. Since 2010, we have joined with our regional partners to form the Southern Regional Stormwater Drainage Committee for the purpose of developing a long-term solution to the ever-increasing stormwater runoff events that are occurring in our area. Our partners include the County of 40 Mile, Cypress County, Lethbridge County, Warner County, Cardston County, the Town of Taber, the Town of Bow Island, the Town of Coaldale, the City of Medicine Hat, the St. Mary's River Irrigation District, and the Taber Irrigation District. The significant amount of financial as well as technical support and funding contributions from the Government of Alberta have also contributed to bring this important project to the current reality of implementation. The irrigation water delivered by the main canal of the St. Mary River Irrigation District supplies over 500,000 acres of irrigated farmland in Southern Alberta. In the past, the excessive rainfall events and snow melt events created the possibility to overwhelm the capacity of the main canal. If the main canal system was broke or washed out at some point in its 300+ kilometer reach, due to the excessive rain or snow melt events, the result would be 6 months to a year where vital irrigation water would be unavailable. Water that is vital and needed to support the production of the high-valued specialty crops that are grown in this region, such as potatoes, sugar beets, corn, seed canola, onions, alfalfa, Timothy hay, dry beans, and sunflowers. A published report from 2015 entitled "The Economic Value of Irrigation in Alberta" by the Alberta Irrigation Projects Association stated, and I quote, "Direct farm loss could total $230 million, with an additional loss of $585 million to the Alberta's economy if the SMRID canal was lost for a season, or part of a season due to a breach of the canal, end quote. All of the value-added industries that have come to southern Alberta have done so because of water security. They know that each year, the raw product needed for their plant or factory will be able to be grown because of the combination of heat units, soil, sunshine, and irrigation infrastructure that is in place, and the water security that that infrastructure guarantees. Irrigation reduces risks to value-added companies through a relatively assured water supply and the production of high-quality crops. The announcement of this money under the Disaster Mitigation and Adaptation Fund program provides one more layer of water security for farmers, communities, and the agri-food processing industries that call southern Alberta home. The Municipal District of Taber is proud to be partnering with Infrastructure Canada to ensure the ongoing safety and security of our residents while creating up to 150 new construction jobs at a time when unemployment is at an all-time high in our province. The long-term economic impact these infrastructure upgrades will provide for our region will not only stop the devastating loss to important farmland and high-valued specialty crops, but will provide the necessary groundwork to attract future growth and investment. So thank you again to Minister McKenna and the Government of Canada for the financial contribution to the Horsefly Emergency Spillway Project.
Thank you, Reeve Harris. We will now start with the media Q&A session. If you have a question, please type it into the chat room.
Maybe no questions. That's always good. We've answered them all, Reeve.
If we have no questions, then we will conclude today's announcement. I would like to thank all who participated, and another big thank you to Minister McKenna and Reeve Harris for delivering this exciting news today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And Reeve Harris, I actually hope I can come out and see the difference that this will make. It's one thing to make these announcements, it's another to actually see the impact. So looking forward to that.
Good, we'd welcome you anytime you'd like to come out and see what's going on out here.
Yeah, and good luck with everything. I know we got to get through until we get a vaccine. So wishing you all the best in the health of your residents.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.